Hello, everyone. Let me turn both of my cameras on. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Recipes Galore with Ask the Nanny. I am going to, um, excuse me, uh, my messages keep falling down. Everybody's messaging me while trying to go live. How are you doing? Hi, Caroline. How are you? Hi, Let's Play and Learn. I am doing this mobile from 3 different locations. So, hello to my Instagram friends, hello to my Facebook friends, and hello to my YouTube friends. Okay, so if you're watching this, please share to your groups. Please share to your friends, anyone who wants to learn how to do this recipe. Now, today we are making cinnamon raisin biscuits. Now, for some reason, I've been in a baking mood lately. Like Monday, I did the French toast with a twist. Well, today I'm doing the buttermilk biscuit with cinnamon and raisins. I just woke up wanting it. So, um, y'all bear with me as I get this going. What we're going to need for this recipe is 5 cups of flour. Let me turn my camera down so that you can see what is going on in my bowl. Okay, there we go. Now you all can see what's going on in my bowl. I have 5 cups of all-purpose flour here. Um, while I am, before I do this, let me warm up the water. We need the water warm for our yeast. So I'm going to pop this in the microwave right quick, and I'll be right with you. Okay, we only want warm water, so in about 5 seconds, 5 more seconds, I'm going to be back over there. But we need 5 cups of flour. We need 1/2 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast, a cup of raisins, some cinnamon, and a little bit of salt. And I'm adding some of my vanilla to it. Let me grab our water. Okay. The trick to the water is you want it warm, but you do not want it too hot. Now, we're going to take a little bit of our sugar and sprinkle it in there. And it's going to help our yeast to start foaming, which is what we want. And let me grab my spoon. Now, we're going to stir up the sugar, make sure it's good and dissolved. Because the sugar activates the yeast. So we want this good and activated. Now, we're going to pour our yeast in here, and then we're going to stir it up. Hello to everyone who has just come in. Let's make sure we got this stirred up real good. Now, in about 5 minutes, this is going to do what we call blooming, where it's going to start foaming and rising. That way we'll know if this is active or we need to start over with some new yeast. So that's why we add the sugar. The sugar makes it bloom. So I'm going to make sure I got it stirred up real good. And I'm going to sit it right here so you can see it and watch it grow. Now, we need, what did I do with my shortening? Some shortening. We need 1 cup of shortening. I like buying the Crisco sticks, these Crisco sticks, because they come in 1 cup, the exact amount that I need. That's the Crisco stick. Oh, I got it upside down. Sorry. This is the Crisco stick. It is exactly 1 cup. It's the exact amount I need for my recipe. So I'm going to open this up and put it inside of my bowl. And I'm going to take my pastry tool. This is my pastry tool. Let me, my camera up here is the opposite direction. So I'm going to take my pastry tool and I'm going to work this into the flour. There is nothing worse than having a biscuit with a clump full of just grease in it. So I'm going to work this into my flour. And I love this tool because it works in so well. Let me turn it around. Make sure I got it in real good. And you can tell that it's going in because the flour is starting to bead up. It's not as loose as it was. So I'm making sure that I got all of this in here. Work it in well. So, now, I got it. There we go. Let me show you what's in my bowl. Hopefully you can see from the glare of the light. May not be working with me. Let's see if our yeast is starting to rise. Yeah, we're going to give it a few more minutes. I still see some chunks of oil of this shortening in here. Now you don't have to use this kind. If you have shortening at home already, you just need 1 cup and 5 cups of flour. I can tell it's starting to clump up at the bottom. Let me make sure I love this tool because it has this little thing in it. Let me put it over the bowl so I won't waste it everywhere. It has this little tool right here that kind of knocks all the flour and dough off of it. Love it, love it, love it. If you don't have one of these and you bake all the time, or you love to bake, or you're thinking about baking, get you one. Okay, as you can see, our yeast is starting to foam. You see right here, that's where the original line is, and now it's starting to foam, which means that our yeast is active. Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna pour my rest of my dry ingredients in here. I'm gonna put my sugar, my 1/2 cup of sugar, into my bowl. Get it all mixed in good. And I used fresh ground cinnamon. You all know I like fresh stuff. So I use my fresh ground cinnamon. I use a little cinnamon stick. Let me turn this the other, there we go. I gotta get both cameras. I use my little cinnamon stick. I'll take it to this camera first. I love fresh cinnamon. It doesn't take as much because the flavor is richer in the fresh cinnamon, the fresh ground cinnamon, than it is in the regular McCormick or whatever brand you buy, the little shaker, when it comes in a shaker. I'm gonna put some salt in here. We need a pinch of salt to balance out all this sugar. I would say about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It's what you need. I am using a sea salt grinder. It's the kind that I like. Move it that way. Okay. Now, let me put my cinnamon off in here. If you're using fresh ground cinnamon, I would say use a teaspoon. If you're using the cinnamon that's in the little shaker, I would say use 2 teaspoons because this is this is a big recipe. It's like a doubled recipe because it's 5 cups of flour. Now, as you can see, our yeast is growing. So that's why I'm getting everything else together. So when I get ready to get started with my buttermilk and my yeast, it's gonna be ready to go. You see how it's clumping in my bowl? You can tell. Let me scoot it back. maybe. Okay. It's clumping in my bowl because the oil has been mixed with the flour. It's a whole nother texture. So now we're ready to go. Now I have 1 3/4 cups of buttermilk that we're going to use for this recipe. We're going to put the raisins in halfway through. And I'm going to use some vanilla bean. Because who doesn't like vanilla in their cinnamon raisin? Okay, you all know I make my own vanilla. And I had a pair of scissors over here somewhere. Or I thought I did. Oh, they're behind me. Okay, I'm going to grab my vanilla bean that I want to use. And 2 vanilla beans. We're going to put it in this recipe. Make it all nice and yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, look at there, y'all. You see where the original line is for the yeast? It's right there. And now all of this has puffed up since we've been doing this, which means that our yeast, sorry, not yeast, but yeast. Our yeast is ready to roll. So I am going to make a groove in the middle of this so I can pour everything. I'm going to pour a 1/3 of my buttermilk in there right now. Pour 1/3 of my yeast, and I'm going to add the vanilla bean so it can get all throughout. Now, this vanilla bean has been soaking in some vodka, making vanilla extract, and that's why it's coming out liquidy. I like to use vanilla beans in some of my recipes, therefore I take it out of my vanilla extract. So I got some more on the shelf that is brewing. Now, I'm going to take my tool and we're going to start mixing this. Now, this is a little cutter that I found on Amazon.com. So it's going to help me to get this dough together. See? Now, round 2, we need some more buttermilk, some more yeast, and I'm going to put my other vanilla bean in here so we can get it all nice and yummy. Oh, that's going to be good. I need a smell button, y'all. Somebody create me one. I need a smell button. This is yummy. It smells so good. Okay, now we got all our vanilla bean in there. Now we're going to mix it up some more. All right. Now, with this last round, now that it's stuck to my hands, with this last round, we're going to put our raisins into the mix so it can be evenly distributed throughout our dough. Okay. Let me grab my paper towel and clean my hands before I open this. Now, I like the brown raisins. My grandchildren like the red raisins the currants, which are similar to raisins. And my dad likes the yellow raisins, which is like basically green grapes. So we're gonna put some raisins up in there. As you can tell, I'm a raisin lover, so I'm putting more than just a cup in there. But that's just me. Experiment in your kitchen. It's your kitchen, it's your recipe. Add what you want to add. So now, got that in there. Get all that good foam out of that cup. That's a part of your yeast. We're almost done. Ready to cut them into biscuits. Yes, yes, yes. Can't let that goodness and mercy go to the wayside. Okay, let's continue to stir this up, and then we're going to knead the dough. Don't be afraid of your hands getting messy, because this is a messy recipe. I promise you, it'll be worth the mess once you get done making it. Okay. Put that right there. Okay. Now comes the hands part. Let me take my rings off so I won't get anything into my dough. It's the last thing I want. Okay, hands in. Gotta mix your dough up. I like grabbing it. Like I'm grabbing a handful of flour. Grab a handful of raisins. All that vanilla bean up in there. Yes, let's play and learn. Get you one of those. Get you one of those. I promise you. Once you start getting your dough together, it starts detaching from your hands. The oil in it kind of makes it detach from your hands. Grab all this goodness from the sides. Now, we're going to turn it out onto our mat here, and then we're going to cut it out. We're ready to make some biscuits. Now, the key to this is, or rather a tip for this is, you can make these biscuits right away, or you can put them on a lime cookie sheet. Here's my cookie sheet. This is parchment paper that I have on top. The parchment paper will keep it from sticking to the bottom of your pan. When you bake it, it keeps it from browning too fast, because if you have an uneven oven, sometimes it browns on the bottom but not on the top and it's not cooked yet. The parchment paper protects the bottom of your biscuit and keeps it from cooking too fast and gives you a nice brown bottom without it burning up. Also, if you're not ready to cook it, or this is a big batch, if you don't want to cook them all that day, you can take this cookie sheet or get you another cookie sheet, and you can line it with some parchment paper or some wax paper or some foil or whatever you have at home. Put it out, line your pan with it, put it in the freezer. After you cut them, line them up on your paper and put them in the freezer. Once they get frozen, you can put it in a Ziploc bag or tight container and keep them in the freezer, and just take them down an hour or two before you get ready to bake them, and sit them at room temperature and let them thaw out. Easy peasy. You have some for later. Now, we are going to sprinkle some flour across the surface so that we can cut these biscuits out. I cannot wait to see how they're going to taste. This is my first time experimenting. This week is my experiment with you all week. I made some French toast that I'd never made before on Monday. Today, I'm making these cinnamon raisin biscuits. Now, if you look at the dough, I don't know if you can see it, probably not. If you look at the dough, it has the little cinnamon specks in it and the vanilla bean specks in it, and it looks so yummy. All right, now I am a hands-on person when it comes to my dough, and we're making grand biscuits today. So I don't want to roll them out. I'm just going to press them out with my hands because I want big, thick biscuits. I want them big enough. You know how McDonald's has their biscuits and they can slice them in half and stick a piece of sausage in there? That's what I want to do. I have the big sausages that I'm going to cook to go with this. And that's why I want it big. I want some grand biscuits. Now, oh, look at all those raisins. Oh my gosh. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so this is a 3-inch cutter, biscuit cutter. If you don't have a biscuit cutter, you can use a glass. You can use a canning lid. Make sure it's clean. You can use your measuring cup. Just make sure you start around the edge and then clear it. You can use this. It all cuts out a biscuit. I'm just trying to let you work with what you have in your kitchen. If you don't have this, there's no reason you cannot make this recipe. Just because you don't have the certain tools that I have, you can still make this recipe at home. And nobody will be the wiser. They'll just be enjoying your biscuits. Now, I like to start from the edge to get the most out of my biscuit. I like these because it has like a little fancy ridge in, the little fancy ridges, and it has a plain end. I'm using the fancy ridges because I'm making some fancy biscuits today. So we are cutting these out. Get as close to the other biscuit as you can. When you're cutting it out, as close to the edge as you can. When you're cutting this out, so you won't waste any dough. And we are almost ready to throw these in the oven and make some sausages to go with them. I cannot wait. I've been waiting on these all day. Knowing that I was going to fix these for you, I had some fruit for breakfast, and this is going to be my lunch. I tell you, yum, yum. See how beautiful that came out? Yours can do the same thing. Now, if you don't want your biscuits this thick, you don't have to have your biscuits this thick. You can roll them out thinner. It's your kitchen. Experiment in your kitchen. It is definitely your choice. Now, let's see if I can get 3 out of this. Okay, close to the edge. Ooh. All right. Can I work a miracle? Hold on. Let me move you out of the way. Let's see if I can get you. Oh, it's going to be a piece of a biscuit, but hey, close enough. Now, see how thick that is? When it rises up, I like to leave mine out, sitting on the stove for I'll leave them out for about an hour and they will rise up. If you stack them close together, let me get this one. If you stick them side by side like this, they'll rise up some. And then when you put them in the oven, they'll rise up a little bit more. So then you'll have some nice, thick biscuits. Yes. So I am going to go and put some of these biscuits into the freezer because I'm not eating them all today. And I'm going to go and put some into the oven because I do want some today. But I will come back and show you the results of the biscuits in the comments. So so that you will see how this biscuit turned out. Mm-mm. That's going to be some good eating right there, y'all. Now, if you are watching this from whatever social media you're watching this from, please like and follow and subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ask the Nanny. You can find me on Instagram at ask.the.nanny. Ask the Nanny. You can find me on Facebook at my personal page, Angela Johnson, or on my business page, Ask the Nanny. I also have another business page. It's called This Jam Good. And I sell jam, which is going to be good on this biscuit too. And we're having a sale this week on jams. So hit me up on This Jam Good on Facebook. And you can see what we're selling, what flavors we're selling. No, this is not just ordinary jam. This is exotic jam. Cherries Jubilee, Caribbean Sunrise. What else do I have? It Practically Perfect Plum, The Blackness. I have Midnight. I have, what else do I have over there? Purple Passion. I'm looking across at my table with my jams on it. If you're wondering what I'm looking at. But yeah, we have Peachy Keen and Crimson and From the Vine. So I have a few flavors, about 8 or 9 flavors on sale this week. And just hit me up on This Jam Good. But more importantly, follow me, like me on all my social medias. I will be back probably on Friday to cook another delicious meal or biscuit or meat dish. You never know. Follow me. All my recipes. Promise you, you won't regret it. Now, I'm going to go get these biscuits in the oven and in the freezer, and I'll be back with the results. Thanks for joining me today. You all have a good afternoon. Okay, there we go.